All right, it is strategy time once again, guys. The time of year when a lot of traders are sitting down and saying, okay, what worked last year and what am I going to go into the market with this year? We're going to give you a few ideas, very simple, very basic ideas as far as strategies are concerned that you can take into the market in 2022, guys.
Absolutely. And then for me, it's like you just said it right there, like what worked before that you can take into next year. So if I look at what was probably the best trade for me as a day trade, it's that whole notion of finding stocks I like to short, maybe gapping up in a small cap, and then it fails to break out the high right at 930, and then fails to break out, and then you short it off of that rejection. So the flip side of a trade like that would be the long. And candidly speaking, this is one that I wrote down in my notes and then didn't take. Now, I've actually managed to trade the stock after all, Reliance here today, but this had that setup that I would have been looking for. So here's the rundown. You had a breakout right here at $7 the previous day. So you had a lower high resistance at 7. You then had a rejection of that level right at the open, and then you had a breakout at 7. It goes all the way up, actually running over 20%, then pulling right back into support at 7. So twice, double bottom at 7 the day before. So what are you looking for in this situation? This is a stock that has been bullish, despite the fact that it's been pulling back significantly, 10, 15% pullbacks, it's continued to run. So if you're looking on the bullish sentiment here, it does the failed break of that low at 7 even right here at the open at 930. It cannot get anywhere near to the next support level, let alone an even dollar level at 650, and then pop. So you either take it on the re-entry point back above 7 even. It also sets you up for the break at the failed pre-market high as well. Those are two ways you can start playing it. It's worked very well for short trades. I could show you Tesla today, which had a short in that same vein, or lots of stocks that actually had a short in that same regard where they couldn't break the top. But this is one where it breaks the bottom, then comes right back, takes out that high, and then you see the momentum it has. So whether you're taking the breakout at the pre-market high or when it reclaims that 7 even after that failed breakdown at 930, it's just taking something that works for a short setup and then playing it for a long if you've got a stock that you think can continue a trend. So it's worked in the small caps in 2021. I'm looking to carry it forward 2022. And on purpose, I'm showing you one here where I had this trade written down that I wanted to have it and then didn't do it because usually I'm trading it the other way, and it was shorting something that cost me missing this long.
Okay, I'm going to take a little bit more of a macro approach here, and mine's going to be get yourself into some ETFs and be diversified here into 2022, right? So what I mean by that, obviously, is I'm not sure this is going to be a stock picker's market this year. Who knows what's going to work? I think we all like energy, we all like financials, but honestly, like to sit there and try to pick some names that are going to be high flyers this year into an interest rate, we're changing up what's going to be happening with interest rates. 2 or 3 increases this year expected. We know tapering's on board. So let's just have a quick talk here about what I'm saying. What I think you need to do is buy some ARK. Just buy the main one, ARK. This is going to give you Teladoc. This is going to give you Roku, Twitter, Tesla, some of those high-flying names where you don't have to sit around and pick a Palantir. Like Palantir could go down 10% this year, but hopefully this managed fund has other names that are flying up 10%. They may not. This is the risky play for you this year if you invest in ARK. But what I would do with ARK is turn around and buy some SPY. The spiders, the last year, the S&P 500, and we're talking about 2022, but last year the S&P 500 up 27% last year. Okay, so I think you're a little bit, not correct, if that's the right way to say it, by not investing something in a market-based ETF. And I wouldn't choose the Qs because, again, if ARK doesn't perform, you're most likely going to get a drawdown also into the NASDAQ 100. So I like the SPY. And then the last one I like too this year, again, I said financials and I said oil, but why not just go into XLE here? Again, get into some oil, find your way into a name that, hopefully, the chart will load up here. This is a Select Spider Energy Trust. And you can see here, this is breaking out to 52-week highs right now in this name. And if you believe that oil is going higher, why not do that? So my tip for 2022 coming through is portfolio diversification and do it through ETFs. Just make it simple. You don't have to try to outthink the market. That's my sort of macro look at what's going to be happening here in 2022.
Best part of this time of year is we get to take a look back, as we said, and see what worked last year, but also understand that every year is going to be different, and it's about growing and it's about improving as traders on a yearly basis. I want to talk about one idea that I want to get better at this year, and that is going to be on the long side of a trade, specifically in small caps. So I'm going to show you a news story from this very morning. In fact, we were talking about Hoth Therapeutics out this morning with promising data on an Alzheimer's treatment. So tick number one, or check mark number one, is going to be a positive news catalyst. I'm going to get rid of this window and show you the next tick here, and that is the market cap. This one, a nano cap, if you want, 16.9 million on the market cap and a 20 million share float. So it's very rare you see the float size larger than the market cap, but in this case, that was it. In the pre-market, we'll go to the chart then. Hoth up in the pre-market on the initial announcement. We get above right away some significant levels on the daily chart, which was 120 right here. It does struggle at the open at that 120, but my point here is simply, if all signs point to positive, even though on a higher time frame this is a weak daily chart, all signs point to positive, a small market cap, a small float. I'm going to start looking for the long in some of these types of charts, because this one was absolutely great this morning, 120 up to 175, 180 at the top. It's done absolutely nothing since, still holding significant levels. So positive news catalyst, small market cap, small float. This year in 2022, I'm going to be looking long, guys.